Welcome to the Players Podcast today. This is episode 5. I am joined by Dominic Benjamin, Micah Roper, and once again is Ian Jones. And today we are going to be talking about the life of these wrestlers.
Firing! Touchdown! Wildcats! Play action. Rolling right. Hardy overthrows his target. Turnover on downs.
First off, guys, what do your guys' practices look like?
Most of our practices start off with a pretty light warm-up, and then we get into a relatively intense workout for probably about hour and a half. Then we do a little bit of technique for a half an hour, and everything after that's pretty much just live going, trying to get our conditioning up.
7 days a week.
7 days a week? That's a lot of work.
Every day.
Yes, it is.
That does contribute to your guys' success, is that correct?
100%.
Definitely does. I think a lot of our success comes from the fact that we can keep wrestling when other teams can't.
And talk about this practice schedule. You guys have 7 days a week. Is that even when you guys have days like snow days and you still have a lot of
practice?
Yup,
Still
we'll
show
make it
up.
work.
He'll find different facilities, different schools to wrestle at.
We almost drove 45 minutes away for one.
Yeah.
In a blizzard.
Mhm.
Yep.
The bus almost flipped.
One of our coaches' basements one time, man. We've been everywhere just so we could practice.
Has that actually happened before?
It has.
Basement?
It has.
Yes, it has.
One of our coaches' companies, actually, one of the buildings was empty. We laid a mat down in there and had different groups go in and wrestle. Yeah.
It was crazy.
And then you guys spend most of your practices on the mat, or will you do a lot of conditioning stuff like weights and running, things like that?
We used to definitely do more running than we do now. Every once in a while, we'll have a good running practice, but usually we've been trying to get our wrestling conditioning up, and we kind of just stay on the mat for most of the time.
And then and then what weight class are you guys all in?
Well, what's my mic sound like that? Well, I'm normally 190 or 215, but I cut to 175 for this meet today, but normally 190.
I'm at 120.
I'm usually at 175. Every once in a while, I go up to 190, but
And then what meet do you guys have to get ready for that's coming up today?
Today's the OAA rad meet. It's kind of just like a meet for seeding for districts, so not everyone's going, but our big meet soon is against Davison for team districts.
yeah, it's coming up next Wednesday.
Be there.
And you guys all have the team districts, and then do you all have to win as a team, score more points than other teams to just keep qualifying for regionals, going to states and everything?
It's win or go home.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
And then you guys do have individual wrestlers that do compete even if the team goes down.
Yep,
Yes,
next
that's
Saturday.
after, yeah.
And then this might be a little bit of a personal question, but how many times you guys have to go on a cut each season, like going into meets?
Dude, it's a lot,
That's-
man.
yeah,
It was like
that's
one
tough.
time for me.
All right, bro.
Usually, most of the years, I cut a lot, but it's my senior year, so I had a little more control over it this time, and I decided not to cut much this year.
Yeah, this year I've cut a lot more than I planned on, because Coach Ross has been telling me to cut, but so I gotta do it. I mean, it is what it is.
And then what does the usual diet look like for these cuts?
You don't eat.
You don't drink. No, he cuts wrong, bro. He doesn't know how to cut.
Dude, that was
It's
horrible.
just like plain chicken, and you just gotta cut every salt and sugar out. And
Yeah,
then
can't really
just
drink any calories. It's all
on
water.
yourself. So it's
We try to start it early enough that you can eat enough and be healthy with it, but
Yeah, man.
a lot of the time you'll find kids like Ian who wait till 3 days before and then don't eat.
2.
2 days.
I got told 2 days before.
How much do you guys think you can cut in one day if you really try to?
I think the most I've lost in one practice is about 11 pounds.
11 pounds at one practice?
Yeah.
One was
I feel
40.
I could get 10 down in one.
Probably
It just
6.
depends, bro.
And then outside of meets and then practices and cutting, is there anything else you guys do to prepare for the competitions that you guys have to go to?
I do a lot of lifting in the gym.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Your diet is a big part of it too as well. Pretty much throughout our whole day and week, we're kind of thinking about what we're eating and things like that.
Yeah, and then what does the average meet look like for you guys?
It's we'll wake up at 6 a.m., go on a bus ride, and then it'll go from 9 to You say 6? 9 to 6.
They're long days,
Yeah,
man.
they're long.
It depends. Sometimes you can get home at like almost midnight. Sometimes
Wow.
later than that, honestly.
And then, how many meets would you guys say you do personally in each meet? Or how many matches you have yourselves?
Like 5?
5
or 2?
Yeah, like a good team tournament, probably about like 5.
Yeah.
And then, how long do you guys say you would usually like drive to a meet? Like, what's the farthest you might have driven?
I'm normally it's like an hour, but
Yeah,
An hour's not too bad.
yeah,
no,
it's not that bad.
But
I think
It usually range anywhere from like
2
a half
hours,
hour
yeah.
to 2 hours.
yeah.
the Allen Park was pretty far. We went to Michigan State, so that was pretty far.
Yeah, that was cool.
And how many other schools you guys usually have competing in these meets that you go to?
12? 13?
Yeah, a big tournament will have around that much. Sometimes like it'll just be like a quad. You'll have 4 teams there.
Yeah.
For joining us today, this is Jack Bradford on the Players Podcast. Thank you for listening.